Yeah, that's what they said. You know where it is?
Hey, Ernie,
Hi,
you in the valley already?
I'm in the valley already, yeah. Okay, we're on Chaf Base 22. Tivshut the boy Rava. We can answer a question that Rava asked. Shavua shaloi oichal. Person takes an oath, I'm not going to eat. The ochal ofar. Now, we don't eat dirt. So, because we've been dealing with, is it kazayas? Do you have to eat a kazayas to the over the shvuel? Or any amount? So Rava asked, if you ate dirt, bekama. So based on what we said, it's adika kazayas, because he said achila has to be kazayas. So the Gemara says, no, ki kamina. When did we say kazayas permitted devar achila kamina? By food, or something that was that's eaten, then it's kazayas. But something that's not eaten, it could be even a mashu. Vare konamos. Somebody asters themselves like a koinam, which is you make something prohibited to you like a korban. It's also b'kol shehu. Koinamas nami kimaforish shtavu. We said that if a person takes a shvua and says, I'm going to violate my shvua if I eat anything, so then you don't have to eat a kazayas. So if somebody takes a koinam, it's automatically like kimaforish shtavu. So Rabbi Kiva said to the Chacham, Heicham matzinu b'medaber mevi korban. Where do you see that somebody just speaks and he has to bring a korban? Shazem medaber mevi korban. Here, a person who took an oath, false oath, just speaks, and yet he's bringing a korban. So the Chacham say back to Rabbi Kiva, "V'lo, what's the problem with that?" V'harei magadev, even according to you, Rabbi Kiva, if somebody curses Hashem, you also bring a korban, and that's also just dibur. So the Gemara says, no, I was looking for medaber v'oiser kamina. We're talking about using your speech to prohibit something and then violating that, bringing a korban. And a magadev high is medaber v'choitehu. He just commits a sin by what he says, but he didn't aser something by what he said. For a nazir, a person becomes a nazir with his speech, and he now prohibited himself to drink wine, and you have a korban at the end of your naziris. So you tried to say there's no example of bringing a korban by dibur. What about nazir? So the Gemara says, yeah, we want to find maybe korban al dibura coming. Someone brings a korban on some kind of prohibited dibur, but a nazir high is maybe korban lashtur like chanu kamaisi. At the end of his naziris, in order to begin drinking wine again, those korbanos that you bring is just to matir wine, but it's not bringing a korban for a pet. A person prohibits something because it becomes hegdish through dibur. And then if you benefit from it, you're over me'il, and you have to bring a korban. So the Gemara says, we're talking about, give me an example of something that your dibur asers it for you, but not everybody else. Right? Hi, oisra kololam kulu. Somebody makes something hegdish, asers it for everybody. Hare koinamois. A person prohibited something to him like a korban, and if he benefits from it, he has to bring a korban. So he used speech. Ksavar ein me'ilos b'koinamos. Rabbi Kiva tells you don't bring a korban when you violate koinam. So Rabbi Kiva is consistent. Amar Rava. This machlokes between Rabbi Kiva and Chachamim about whether you violate the oath by eating a kazayas or even a kolshu is bistam. He said, I take an oath I'm not going to eat. He didn't say, I take an oath not to eat a kazayas. Or he didn't take an oath to say, I'm not going to eat anything. Aval b'mefaresh. If he takes an oath to say, I'm not going to even eat a morsel, then everybody holds that he violates the oath by eating a mashu. My time, before Shnami could bear your tummy. Just like we said, if you eat an ant It's smaller than the kazayas, but it's a complete creature. So too, being mafarish during a shvua, even a kol shvu, makes it a beria. Has chashivas. V'amarava, this machlok has been given the chachamim b'shelo oicha. When he takes an oath, I'm not going to eat. Aval shelo etom. He said, I take an oath, I'm not going to taste anything. Divra kol b'kol, because the language of that oath is not kazai, it's even a kol shu. Pshita. I mean, he said lo etom. We know what that means. Now the same. Maybe litum nami kedamri inchi is achila. Maybe I would have thought kazayis. Kamashman did know that even a kol shu would make you chayiv. Amrav Papa. This machlokes between the Chacham and Rabbi Kiva is b'shvuos, taking a shvua. Aval b'koinamis, you say koinim alai this plate, divrei hakol or koinim alai this food. Koinim alai is divrei hakol b'kol shehu. There, everybody agrees that it's not kazayis. My time, koinamis nami, given to the komitka shema da'achle. He doesn't mention anything about achila. The word achila has a special shir, kazayis. He just says koinem alai, so that's kidam aforish kami. That's like somebody who took an oath and said, I'm not going to even eat a morsel. Meisr. Shnei koinamois mitzdarfim. That if I take a koinem, that I'm not going to eat this. I take a koinem that I'm not going to eat that. They're mitzdaref to achilas kazayis. But shtei shvuos, I take an oath on a loaf of bread, but each one of them is only half kazayis. They're not mitzdaref to kazayis. Reb Meir Omer, koinamois is keshvuas, which l'chora means there's no itzdarfus. But the Tanakama held koinamos are mitzdaref. Now, Isa gedaitich shekai b'kol shehu, that you just told me that by koinim, even a kol shehu, well, what kind of mitzdarfus? You don't need itzdarfus, even any amount would make you osir. Lama l'litzarif. Because it's a special case. To Omar, achila mizu alai koinim, achila mizu alai koinim. Eating from this and eating from this, and he used the word achila, and there's no achila except for kazayas.
No.
This is Purell to clean your hand. Ihachi. If that's the case, amai mitzdarfus. If you have to eat an achila of a kazayas, why should we say it's starfus? Maybe you need achila from each kazayas. Soif, he made two separate nador. Zil ha'achol like a shira. If you look at this, achila wasn't a shir. Zil ha'achol like a shira. So how could you have it starfus with two different nadorim? Our answer is Damar achila mishpein alai koinim. He said eating from both of them will be a koinim. Which if they each add up to a kazayis, there'll be a chiyuv. The kavase gabi shvua. It was similar by shvua because Omar shvua shlo oichel mishteya. I take a note that I'm not going to eat from both of these. Why would we say amayim mitzdarfin? Amar pinchas shani shvus mitoch shechaluk lachatas. If a person prohibited two different items with one shvua, and he ate both items, you have to bring a chatas for each one. So they're separate. So therefore, a mitzdarfus. Yachi, why did Rav Meir Omer koinomis keshvuas? So bishma shvuas, I understand why shvua would mitzdarif. Hoil v'chalukas l'chatas, they're two separate cases. You can be mitzdarif them. Ela koinomis amalo yitzdarfu. So the Gemara says, you have to switch the shitas. Rav Meir Omer shvuas kekoinomis, Shavuos are treated like koinim, but less like Rav Pinchas, because Rav Pinchas is the one who said that Shavuos are chalukas by chatas, so therefore there can be itztarfus. Ravina gives a different answer. Ravina Makikomer Rav Papa, that by koinamos it's asr even a kol. That's the malchus. You get malchus, but kitanya yi. When we say that the koinamis are mitzarfin into kazayis, that's korban. The be'inan shalom pruta, or to be chayv me'ila, it's got to be worth a little elisa pruta. The meimer de savri rabbanon sheish me'ila b'koinamis. So therefore, do the rabbis hold that there's me'ila by koinamis v'atanya? Kikar zu hegdish. This loaf will become hegdish v'achla, and he ate it. Bein hu bein chaveru mal. He made it hegdish for both him and his friend. Lefichach yesh lapidya. You can redeem such a loaf like any hegdish. But if he says kikar zu alai hegdish, only for me, hu mal but chaveru lo mal, and therefore lefichach, it's not real hegdish because it doesn't ask for somebody else. Ein lapidya divrami. You can't redeem it. The Chachamim oimrim, bein hu vein chaveru lo mal. There's no mila for either of them. Lefi shein mila b'koinamis. We asked the kasha. So epech echad zeh v'echad zeh lo mal. Lefi shein mila b'koinamis to Rabbi Yitzchak Meir who holds there's no mila by koinamis. V'chachamim ram hu mal. He who said arei alai hegdish, he is moel behegdish. But v'chaveru lo mal, but his friend is not. You just told me before that Rameir is the one who holds the koinim is like a shvua, that they're not mitzdarf l'shir. Ella comes out koinamis it's terufi who lo mitzdarfi. Koinamis are not mitzdarf, but ha'meila is fu, but there is meila. I've honor of Meir. We saw Rav Meir say the opposite. Ein meila b'koinamis klal. So what Rav Meir is saying is l'divrei and rabbanon kamalu. Rav Meir is speaking to the Chacham. L'didi ein meila b'koinamis klal. I don't hold of meila by koinamis. L'didchu, according to you, at least admit to me, mias shekoinamis k'shvuas they're not mitzdaref. How do the rabbanon answer? Rabbanon shvuas ikke. You have Rav Pinchas. That's chiluk l'chatos. But by koinamis there's no Rav Pinchas. Amara. Shvuas lo yechal v'chalafa. A person took another, I'm not going to eat anything. It's dirt, potter. Because eating dirt's not considered nachila. However, boy ravo. Shvuas lo yechal v'chalafa. Person takes an oath, I'm not going to eat dirt. Bekama. What's the shear? Kiva damar lo yechal. So, daitel kazayas, it's regular achila. People don't eat dirt, but kosher. So take. Boy rava, shvush loy oichel chartza. Chartza is like the branches of a grape tree. Bekama. Kiva the misachali de taruvis. Sometimes you'll eat the branches with the grapes. Daitel kazayas. So maybe your thought is to eat kazayas of it. Odilma. Kiva the lobina achli lay inshi. By itself, nobody eats the branch. You always in a taruvis. So is it maybe daito mashu? Maybe he has his mind on any amount. Again, take. Boy Ravashi. Nazir she'omar shvua shloi oichel chartza. Now a nazir already cannot eat chartza. He takes a shvua again. Bekama. Eating a kazayas deraisa, because the Torah says a nazir can't eat it. So that's clearly a kazayas. And therefore, kiko mishtaba. Now when he takes an oath not to eat it, ahetera kamashma, he's basically allowed to eat from mashu until kazayas. So maybe what that he was taking an oath on are those things that are not asum in that Torah. The daital mashu, and therefore his thought was even any amount. Or maybe we'll say, oh, dilma kivin damar shlo oichel daital kazayis. It's achila. It's a toshma. Shvur shelo yoichel. Person takes another not going to eat. V'achal nevelos treif v'shkotzim v'moshim. He ate treif things. Chai. Reb Shimon pointed, Ravinam, Amai chayiv. Mush b'voyim Arsina, who already took an oath at Arsina not to eat these things. And there's a concept of ein shvua chalal shvua. So Rav Shmuel Vayichin Damri, Bekol Dvarim Mutarmin Dvarim Asuri. He took an oath on the Shkotzim V'Ramoshim, but he included things that he's allowed to eat as well. Therefore, since it has a chalois on the heterim, it has a chalois on the osur things too. V'Reish Lakish Amar Iyata Moitze Ela'ibim Mefarish Chatzi Shir V'Libid Rabbona. The case will be when he takes a shvua even on a little amount, according to Chachamim, that a stam shvuas is always going to be on kazayas. Ibistam V'Libid Rabbi Akiva, who says Adam Oyser B'Kolshu. V'Hanavela Shemush B'Vonim Har Sinai, who already in Har Sinai we took an oath not to eat nevela. Chichartz L'Gabi Nazir Damya. So this is already also like a nazir to eat grape branch. The time of the porridge. So he clearly made a shvua less than a kazayas. Haloi porridge, if he had not done, then daital kazayas. Shmami know that even by chartzim would be the same. So Ella tifshet the boy Rava. So then we would use this to answer the question we've asked before. Tifshet adika kazayas. The nevela kafredam. I mean, nevela is like dirt. Nobody can eat it. And the reason why it's also for time of the mefarish. He said, I'm going to ask him b'koshu. Aloi parish. If he didn't detail it, daita al kazayas. This is low. You can't bring me a proof from offer. Offer love barachilu klal. Nobody eats offer. Nevela, goyim eat nevela. Nevela basachila. So it has a shem oichel. It's just Aryeh who reveal. There's a lion telling us not to eat it, but food it is. So therefore, it still falls under the category of kazayas. Mishnah. Shvur shelo yoichel. V'ocha v'gam shosa. He took an oath not to eat, but he ate and drank. So you don't bring two. Ein chai v'lachas. But shvur shelo yoichel v'lo eshte ocha v'shosa chayv shtayim. If it says, I take an oath not to eat and not to drink, you're chayiv too. Shvur shloi oicha. He took an oath not to eat. V'ochal, pas chitnu, pas oir, pas kun. He ate 3 different types of bread: wheat, barley, rye. And a chayiv alachas. It's all part of his shvur. But if he said, shvur shloi chal pas, chitnu, pas oir, pas kusmin, v'ochal chayiv kolachas v'echas. So it's how he phrases his shvur. Shvur shlo yeshte. He takes an oath not to drink. V'shosa mashkin harbe. He drank beer and wine and lemonade. Eino chayim alachas. But if he dealt that shvur shlo yeshte yayin shem and dvash, v'shosa he drank all of them. Chayim alachas v'yachas. Shvur shlo yoicha. He takes an oath he's not going to eat. V'ochal oichlin shein amrun lachila. He eats things that you can't eat. There's no concept of achila by these things. If you said shvur shloi oichel, the ochal nevelas trefish kotzin v'ramoshim, the Torah asks them chayiv. They're royal achila. Somebody could eat them. Rabbi Shimon poiter, because mushba bar Sinai and no shvur chalal shvur. If he says, "Omar konim ishki nenisli machalti," I take an oath that my wife will not benefit from me if I eat today. He ate some treif thing. Because he ate. Some say a pasuk, some say logic. Should we drink something? They went in and they ate and drank. So that's considered te'ima. When you use the word achila, shtia is included. Don Reish Lakish. Minayin l'shtia shehi b'chlal achila. Shenemar, v'achalta f'lei Hashem l'kecha b'makom asher yivchar l'shekin shmo sham, ma'asar degancha v'tiroshecha. Tiroshcha is wine, and it says achila. Okay, we're going to be able to learn 2 blot Sunday, because it's a small blot, the next blot. So I'm going to stop here. We're going to learn 5 o'clock Daf Yomi Sunday. That doesn't interfere with tefillah and everything like that. And then the Nachshir will be at 7 o'clock.
Now you will see at 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And have a good Shabbat. Enjoy yourself in the valley. It's going to be nice and toasty.
It's nice now. It's nice now.
It's okay, that's all right.
Okay.
Night.
Bye. Harry, bye.